welcome back for another Triumphant Kids Corner video for another Sunday school lesson. Today we start our summer session. Are you ready for Sunday school? Don't forget to click the thumbs up, click the notification bell so you know when we upload a video, and also follow us on Facebook at The Triumphant Church of God and Instagram at triumphant.youth. Remember to post what you like and post the crafts that you've done with us so far, and let's get ready for Sunday school. For my 2 to 5-year-olds, this is your activity sheet and your title is Samuel in the Tabernacle. And for my 1st to 3rd graders, this is your activity sheet, and you have the same title. My 4th to 6th graders, this is your activity sheet, and you have the same title as well. Everybody will be talking about Samuel, all right? So get your papers, get your stories, grab a seat, and let's get ready for story time. Get ready. All right, so parents, don't forget to pause and ask any questions or to answer any questions. Prompt them to answer or to think a little bit more while listening to the story. All right, see you guys after story time.
Hannah loved Samuel and took care of him. When Samuel was still a little boy, he went with his mother and father to the Tabernacle, or the tent church, in Shiloh. Hannah reminded Eli, the church helper, how she had prayed and asked God to give her a baby. She wanted Eli to know that God had answered her prayer. Hannah told Eli that she wanted Samuel to be his helper at the Tabernacle. She wanted Eli to teach Samuel about serving God at church and doing the things God wanted him to do. Eli taught Samuel to listen to God. Samuel learned to listen for God's words. Samuel grew taller and learned more about God. God told Samuel what he was going to do, and people listened to what Samuel said. They knew that Samuel loved God and listened to God's words.
A woman named Hannah prayed to have a child, and God answered her prayer. Hannah had a son, and she named him Samuel. Hannah kept the promise she made to God before Samuel was born. When Samuel was old enough, she took him to the tabernacle and dedicated him to the Lord. She told the priest, Eli, for as long as he lives, he belongs to the Lord. Samuel grew and helped Eli at the tabernacle. During that time, messages from God were rare. But one night, Samuel heard a voice calling his name. Samuel ran to Eli. "Here I am. Did you call me?" Samuel said. Eli said, "I didn't call you. Go back and lie down." 2 more times Samuel heard God's voice, and 2 more times he ran to Eli. Finally, Eli understood. He told Samuel, "The next time you hear the voice, say, 'Speak, Lord. Your servant is listening.'" Samuel did exactly what Eli said. God told Samuel that Eli's sons had done bad things. God was planning to punish Eli and all of Eli's family because of the evil things that Eli's son had done. Samuel went back to bed and slept until the morning. He did not want to tell Eli about God's message. When Eli wanted to hear what God had to say, Samuel was brave and he told Eli the truth. God continued to give his messages for the people to Samuel. God was with Samuel, and Samuel served God. All of the people knew that Samuel was God's prophet.
Welcome back from Storytime, guys, and now it's time for our first craft. Today, we're going to make something similar to what we've done in our earlier videos. We're making another headband, and because in our stories we talked about Samuel listening to God and how he loved God, we're going to make something dealing with our ears. So in your description box, parents, you're going to see a link that will allow you to print out this. It's not colored. I colored it in. I used my brown crayon. So you can print this, have your child color it whatever color they want. If they want it to look like them, that's fine. And then I'm just going to keep it in the brown family to kind of blend it with my skin tone. I use brown construction paper, but you do not have to use brown construction paper. You can use yellow, orange, purple. You're going to need your stapler, a ruler, pencil, and scissors. So the first thing that we are going to do, we are actually going to make our strips. Now, keep in mind, the circumference of my head is bigger, so I require more. But you possibly will just need 1.5 strips. And so I'm just going to mark my lines so we can mark our lines together. Try to make it as straight as possible. And normally, what I should have done was fold it, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to do 3 lines and just cut them. I'm just going to use 3 of them, and I'm going to connect it with my stapler. Now, I don't need all 3 of these. I need about 2.5, but I still connect all 3 strips together. All right, and let's test this out and see. Has a nice fit. And this is my connection, and I'm going to cut off the rest of this. So I'm going to staple right where my finger connected the 2 pieces, and this should be enough space. Now we have our headband. Now we're going to cut out our ears. Here. The tricky part, we're going to put on a headband and we're going to find the real position of our ears and try to staple these in alignment with where our ears are placed. So, put on the headband and let's see, my ears are right about here. So I might staple one ear to this side and one right here. So let's do the first side so we don't forget it. I'll keep my finger on it, put the ear, you have a little piece hanging off, I actually folded this by the crease and I staple it with the white piece down. Now, if the position shifts a little bit, that's okay. Staple, 2 staples, secure it. Mine's is a little wonky. See why I fold it down so it could pop out, okay? I'm gonna put it back on our heads. This is one ear, and let's find the second one. Let's see. Right around there. Take this off. Put my thumb on it. I'm gonna fold this again. Now, if it looks a little wonky once you put it on, you could just take the staples out and adjust it. But now, here's your headbands with your ears. Nice. Ooh. Let's try to line these up. Okay, I may be a little off, but it's okay. We have our ears. They're big enough to hear the voice of God. And this is it for our first craft. All right, now it's time for our second craft. And we're not going to do it based off what we read today, but we're going to do another activity or another craft based off what we talked on last week, equality. So this one is going to be Inequality Crafts. So here I have my handprint traced out in different colors. So this is what you're going to do, parents. You're just going to grab different colors, whatever colors your child chooses, and then you're going to trace your hand on top of the first sheet and then just cut them all out at one time. So you can do all of this in one shot. I have 3 more hands over that side. So I did 8 sheets of construction paper. Yeah, 8 sheets of construction paper at one time. You may not have to do all 8, whatever colors they choose, but if you can cut 8, you could cut at least, up to 8 and you'll be fine. If I could cut 8, 5 should be all right. All right, and then you're gonna need a green construction paper, and I'm just gonna use this as my stem. So we're making like a flower with the different colors, the different types of people. That's what our hands will represent, the different types of people in this world, but we're all coming together to make one beautiful art craft, one beautiful thing. Okay, and also, of course, for each flower, you need like a centerpiece. So I did a yellow circle. I traced out my circle. I found something that was wide enough. I traced it out and I colored it. And then we're going to write something on that. So you're going to need your marker. And for this one, we're going to need this kind of glue. No more glue sticks. If you want to do a glue stick, it probably would work. But I feel more comfortable with this glue for this craft. All right, guys, let's get started. So the first thing we are going to do, after your handprints are all cut out, you can determine if you want the thumbs in the same direction, but it doesn't have to. What we're going to do is it piece by piece. I have my 2 hands like this, so I'm going to glue this side. I'm going to put enough. Let's open up the glue. Okay. And just smear it on there. Give a healthy portion. All right. And we are going to connect the glue. One thing with this glue, it's still movable. So if you have to adjust the position, you can just do so. So I'm going to first find where I want it. And then I'm going to add the glue. All right, now we have blue. I think I want blue about here. I'm gonna shift my pink a little bit. I'm gonna put blue here. If you could do it this way too, it might be easier. Just putting the glue on the hand that you're adding, or like I did before, putting on the glue that's already placed down. And that's it. And now we're going to add our purple. Let's see where we want her to be. I think purple is good right there. This time I'm going to put it on what's already down. I like that. It's more stable for me. And I'm going to move her around. Press, press, press. They like to do this. Bang everything down and get messy. And just rub off the glue of their hands. Did anybody ever do that as a kid? Just put the glue on, let it dry, and just peel it off. I don't know why. It was fun that way. And then this is the base of our flower. So our colorful hands, our different types of people. And as you're doing this craft with them, you know, we talked about equality. You can remind them about what we discussed with equality, that we all are different, but we all deserve to be treated the same way, to be loved, to be respected, taken care of. Ooh, this side actually looks better than the other side, but we're gonna see. Which side do I like? Okay, I'm gonna stay on this side. What we're gonna do now, we're gonna add our stem. It's gonna be on the back. We're gonna add it to the back of our flower. And I'm gonna put a good portion of glue on. And I'm just gonna spread it, spread it, spread it, spread it, like so. And I'm going to turn this over. You may get some glue on the table, that's okay. And I'm gonna add the stem to the back, to the center, okay? And make sure, see the glue's to the center. And because the glue is movable, we can adjust accordingly. Adjust anything you want. It's not a big deal. Now, the last part of our flower is our centerpiece. And this is going to go right here in the middle. If you want to make a bigger circle, I think I made my circle a bit too small. But if you want a bigger circle, go right ahead. We'll just size it up and see. But before we do that, there's something that I wrote on the middle and that you can discuss with your kids. I wrote something before. It says, love your neighbor as yourself. There is no greater commandment greater than these. That's taken from Mark 12, verse 31. So actually, I'm just going to use this. But you can write this. Love your neighbor as yourself. There is no greater commandment than these. And the first commandment was to love the Lord your God with all your heart. And the second commandment is to love your neighbor as yourself. When we love God with all our heart, he shows us how we ought to love ourselves. And then he shows us how we ought to love our neighbor. And this is our first craft. This is our equality flower, you can call it. And this will be fun to hang in the house, put it in the window, especially what's going on. If you have a window where people could walk by and see it, put it up there, let it represent. This is their little protest, if anything. But this is something fun, and that they can understand that we're all different, but we come together to create something beautiful. All right? And that's it for our first craft. I want to thank you guys. Our second craft, my bad. I want to thank you guys for joining us again for another Sunday school lesson. I hope you enjoyed your stories. I hope you enjoyed these crafts. Please let us know what you are doing and how you've done it, how you're doing it. We want to see what you do with your children. So make sure you follow us on Facebook at The Triumphant Church of God. And then you can follow us on Instagram and post your stuff on Instagram, or, you know, tag us at triumphant.youth. We thank you for joining us. And remember, to keep talking about equality, keep informing your children about what's going on. And there are some resources that we're going to add to the end of the video that you can use that would help you create that dialogue for them. Thank you, and God bless you. Till next week. Bye.